(1071) Eodem anno aedificatum est castellum Oxenefordense.
The castle at Oxford was built by Robert Doyley, in whose custody that county was at that time, issued to him from the mouth of the king.
Dives enim valde erat. Diviti.
He was extremely rich and spared neither rich nor poor in extracting money from them and multiplying his own riches. As they say, the love of money increases as much as the money increases.
I now attempt to give a clue to the labyrinth of events which occurred in England during 1141.
King Stephen burned the city of Oxford and laid siege to the castle,
In which was the Empress Matilda with her guards.
After a long siege, with food running out,
The Empress, meeting with an opportunity of escape, took advantage of the dark night, the white snow, and in white linen crossed the frozen River Thames.
Through the midst of the king's guards, she travelled on foot nearly 6 miles through snow.
to a place of greater security.
It is undoubtedly one of God's miracles.
In the space of 12 days, 300 people have died from jail fever. In July, the warden issued the decree called the holding of assemblies and feasts, so the disease should not become widespread because of a crowd coming together. It is without doubt a time most calamitous and filled with grief.
Let me out. Let me out.
Let me out.
Let me out.
Let
me out. Let me out. Please.
Let me out.
Let me out.
The condition of a debtor is worse than a criminal.
In irons,
Their bones broke.
poisoned,
Starved to death.
Denied water to drink.
Straw to lodge on.
rotting with sores,
Devoured with vermin.
Let me out.
a poor debtor that has not wherewith to pay the jailer.
Can never expect his
liberty.
Criminals get acquitted.
Or found guilty.
Or they are transported.
Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out.
Oh dear, what a fuss now is made in each town, and building new prisons and pulling old down. In the days that are past they could make old ones do, but now they're not thought of unless they are new.
Oxford Jail Report 1777. Debtors' apartments small and not enough of them. For lodging on their own bed, the debtors pay 1 shilling and 6pence per week. The courtyards for felons and debtors, much too small. The jailer has a spacious garden.
The appointment of Mr. Daniel Harris to be governor and keeper of the castle jail is unanimously approved. The justices present give every encouragement to the general plan of reform now going on at the castle jail.
The lodges and the gateway were built entirely by the convicts. This proves that many are reclaimable and not so entirely abandoned as some are apt to suppose.
Step in, young man, I know your face. It's nothing in your favour. A little time I'll give to you, 6 months unto hard labour, to my hip for the day.
Our prisons have been too much converted into abodes of ease and education.
But human invention has been at work. The employment of hard labour might be rendered of such torment as to be fled from with the utmost consternation and horror.
The treadwheel stands foremost among expedients of this character.
There was scarcely an individual who did not complain of pain in their legs, their shoulders and thighs.
The crank is much worse than the treadmill. Let anyone interested in knowing what crank labour is like turn a grindstone for 3.5 hours on an empty stomach after having done laborious work all morning.
Hobnail boots and tin mugs too, they are not shine, no they will not do.
I stole some wood. I stole some sugar.
Child criminals are, unfortunately, common enough.
I stole a sable mouth. I stole a piece of bread.
In 1896, 60 children under 12 years of age were punished by imprisonment.
I'm Julia. I'm 7. I've been here for 7 days.
I hear the warder telling her to keep quiet. I'm George. I'm 8. I got 4 months and 12 strokes of the birch.
I hear George crying.
Does the prison regime have the effect intended, namely reform of the prisoners? I regret facts and figures prove it does not. Prison life is as cruel and unnatural today as it ever was. The 19th century, after years of failure, does not practice a better system.
Men come to prison as punishment, not for punishment.
Oxford Prison is full. 81 prisoners live 3 in a cell. 6 officers sleep in the gymnasium.
When does the Secretary of State expect to close Oxford Prison as promised?
Not until sufficient suitable accommodation is available elsewhere.
The people of Oxford do not know whether the Home Office will actually close Oxford Prison now or
Is my noble friend the Minister aware that yesterday there were 38 boys in the prison? This means that there must be 3 boys to a cell.
Each landing had only 2 slop sinks, 2 WCs, 1 urinal and 1 wash basin, which were required.
Population predictions for 1994 meant it was necessary to reopen Oxford Prison as a temporary measure. It is proposed to close the prison by the end of 1996 and to sell the buildings and site back to Oxfordshire County Council in accordance with a 19th century legal agreement.
Oh dear, what a fuss now is made in each town, and building new prisons and pulling old down. In the days that are past they could make old ones do, but now they're not thought of unless they are new. A few years ago when the jails were first built, they'd serve to fright robbers and scare away guilt. But now they're like palaces to reward sin rogues, and no sooner out than they wish to be in. If the justice and jury and judge also were sent here a while for to make the mill go, they soon would find out that it's very fine talking, but takes more than words for to keep the mill walking.